All right, what is going on, everyone, and welcome to another special Black Desert video. So today I wanted to talk about life skill gear and is it easy to get 2000 mastery with the recent change. And if you don't know what the change is, basically Manos gear, as in the armors and the accessories, are now cronstoneable. So that means they won't just immediately blow up or they don't just downgrade. It's similar to how normal gear works, but for life skill gear now. I always thought that was a necessary change, but I kind of wanted to talk about, is pen accessories and like pen armors for life skill actually worth getting? And the answer is different simply because everyone is at a different state of the game in terms of life skill levels and everything. So I kind of wanted to talk about a few things like, one, is it worth it to go for pen? Level up XP versus mastery, which life skills are better for everything? So this is what we all have, and with the recent change of count-wide life skills, as in, like, you know, every character has the same now, I think we wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to break down some math of what you can get. So this page right here will tell you basically all your mastery. Right now, we do not have any life skill gear on aside from the tools, but we'll talk about that in a bit. So from beginner 1 to guru 1, you get 5 permanent mastery per level. I thought it was at professional and up where you get 5, but they might have changed it. And then from guru 20 to guru 50, you get 10 mastery per level. So that brings me to the thing where some people go for straight up XP because you want the permanent mastery, or you go for like mastery crystals and everything so you can bypass a little bit if you aren't near like already guru. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was, let's break down what are the like soft cap, I guess, and like the difference between try and tet and pen and all the price values. So keep in mind, this is at least on the NA server. We're going to be looking at prices and everything. So in my opinion, is pen accessories and the armors really worth it? I think the answer is no, because people are able to get 2000, you know, more or less easy. Pen is just kind of like one of those steps you get as a life skiller, just like, oh, just to say you have it. Or you literally only do life skilling. So with that said, you remember this? I don't even know how many people know this functions in the game. The notepad where you could just write things down. And I actually don't look at it. What was this one? We wrote this in 2020. Some of my goals: get C9 pen armors, weapons, pen accessories, Khan's heart, try Manos, etc. That's funny. Here we are now, 2024. These are my goals back in 2020. That's kind of wild. So anyway, with that said, let's add a new note and let's talk about some of this stuff. So, all right. So this is, can I open the market? Let's see. All right. So I took down some numbers and everything. So if you get a full set of try Manos, that is a total of 410 mastery. How you can figure that out is if you go look at Manos and basically you look at try, and then you calculate the mastery for every piece. So we did the math, we did that in advance, it's 410. Now, this is assuming you start at 0, and like, let's say everything you have is beginner 1, which is realistically not going to be the case, because if you are interested in life skills, chances are you're at least, you know, artisan, professional, you know, somewhere around there. And then that's a few hundred extra. That's a total of 570. Keep in mind, these try and tet are for accessories only. And then when you look at the other kinds of the clothing we have, it goes from try, tet, and pen. I would like to really recommend most people, if you are trying to get into life skilling a little bit more seriously, the price jump between tet and pen is kind of high, so most people just stay with tet. and the only difference is 100 extra mastery, which actually does make a difference, but is it like 50 billion more? So let's say you have Try, and then Try is 220, Try armor is 220, right? And then Tet armor is 300, I believe. Yeah, 300. Pen armor is 400. All right, so with that in mind, I realistically don't think most people will need pen armors, and there are certain ones where I think it is worth it, like if you go hunter's clothes, for example. But for example, with gathering clothes, it's not really worth it because the tools actually give a lot more extra mastery, and so like getting a pen armor is less relevant. What I wanted to also talk about was the life skill tools. If you have a pen, they're all the same. Pen tool 400, Tet tool is 300, and a Try is 220. Okay, so keeping this in mind, what are the other ways of actually getting mastery? Another one is the Khan's Heart. It's 25. And I know this is something that some of you guys may not or may already have. And it's a bunch of these secret book of Lawrence. So I'm going to teach you how to get them. And if you are a full life skiller, you are aware that 100 mastery is actually worth a lot more. So you see how we talked about in Tet armor is 300 armor or 300 mastery versus 400. And we saw how the Tet armor is like 5 bill, whereas the pen armor is like 50 bill plus. So you like 100 mastery actually can make a difference. And so what you would do, aside from getting these from like events and quests and everything, go to Liana, and then her shop, she sells these things, and then you could just combine them and then make a scroll. So that's one way to get them. It's kind of a weekly thing, so if you do a lot of life skilling, chances are it's not going to sustain, but it's the one way to get them. And then if you do the horse quest, you just kind of combine all these together. So yeah. So what I wanted to talk about is where you could be if you were at like, if I were to consider, you know, the average, most people with average will have a Try Manos full set and then like Tet armors. That's kind of more or less what I have. Let's put on our gear. Like this is actually what I have. And then we'll talk about what's the difference between like the silver embroidered versus Manos. And it's a little bit different, but let's say put on gathering, for example, and then this one. Actually, let's take this one off. Then we'll talk about crystals. So, for example, most people will have a mix of Tet or Try, and then so your average will probably be like 410 plus like Tet armors is another 300. If you have a cons, how much are cons these days? Like 4 billion? Okay, let's add it because it's 4 billion. If it was like 10, like before, maybe not, but that's another 735 mastery without crystals included, right? And then there are a few things that I wanted to actually include. So I have 2 sets. This is all XP because I want to push, let's say you want to push your levels up. That is also important. Also, if you want to push mastery, you buy the mastery crystals. So if you get an extra 160 mastery over here from the crystals alone. Let's see, 710, 735, 895. All right, so that's 895 mastery, you know, just from average gear. Assuming that, you know, you're trying to take this a little bit more seriously. You're not necessarily a beginner, but you're just trying to get into it, and then if you were to, let's say, invested a little bit more, you would go for 895 plus another 160 for assuming you had Tet gear. Let me pull up this thingy right here. I know this is a lot of math, but I want to make sure that people understand that you can try to get mastery without having to spend like hundreds of billions of silver. So that would be 1055 mastery with Tet Manos accessories and Tet armors, right? With Tet armor plus accessories. Okay, so with that said, you're already 1,000 mastery in, and you don't have any pen accessories, right? That's kind of the important part of that. So, did that even save? I have no idea. All right, whatever. So anyway, with that said, let's see where you can get without everything. So for me, without any buffs going on, this is what I have. And then I'm almost at 2,000, no buffs going on. So you add a little bit of then you add beginner 1 to G20 equals 5 mastery, and G20 to G50. After Guru 50, you don't get anything. It's just kind of like a leaderboard flex. Is 10 mastery. So you'd be able to calculate where you're at, and it'll tell you the total over here. So what I wanted to talk about now was basically which life skills do I value XP more than mastery. All right, let's go down the list. Gathering. You can also see what mastery actually does for each life skill just by hovering over the tooltip and then figuring it out. But from my experience, let me just like TLDR it for you. Gathering allows you to get more rarer materials, so like sharps and everything, Capris, the higher your mastery is. So gathering, I would, in my opinion, put mastery on over XP. Sometimes I personally am trying to push gathering levels because at certain breakpoints, I think it was like Guru 37 when I calculated it before, for me personally, is when I would be able to hit like 2,000 without going for any pen armors. With that said, I personally do mastery, but with life XP on the when I'm gathering. So that's why I'm almost Guru 30. This one is not a hard one. It's just kind of very obviously time gated by how much energy you have and how much do you want to gather. Fishing really doesn't matter. I would just straight up go mastery for this one. So if you're doing fishing, there's either active fishing or AFK fishing. When you're active fishing, you obviously want to catch the rare fish, the more expensive ones, so mastery is a lot better. And then if you're AFK fishing, you want to catch the like prize ones as well. So just overall, I think mastery is better for fishing, but also like fishing XP in general is kind of irrelevant. So after Guru 1 or like even Master 1, you get to use the best fishing rod. So it's like, that's about it. So you want mastery for fishing. Hunting, the difference is the higher the level, it allows you to use the like Manos clothes and matchlock at a lower level. So for example, if you had more mastery at beginner 1, you could use like the artisan matchlock or master early on. So I think they changed that. So it's like master has to be master. But either way, so more mastery early on allows you to use the higher matchlocks at an earlier level. So like at beginner 1, I have a video of that, by the way, from beginner 1 to Guru 1 hunting. I'll leave a link in the description to that. So yeah, for hunting, mastery is just straight up the way to go. And then it also allows you to use more like shots per reload with the Rara's heart thingy. That I would just buy that one instead of trying to go for it yourself. It's not that expensive. It should be more expensive, but it's not. Cooking, this is a tricky one because it depends on what kind of cooking you're actually doing. So if you are just cooking and you're just trying to push levels, you would use a difference of like either Manos cook clothes or silver embroidered. So the difference is cook's clothes, it gives you more mastery, but it doesn't have reduced cost or cooking time, and the XP is also valuable itself. In my opinion, the cooking time, trying to make it like as close to 1 second, if not 1 second, is very important, because if you average out the time, like it's worth more to cook faster than to have a chance of a higher proc. So like when I cook embroider clothes, because it's -4 cooking time, and when I do like turn-ins, so like Imperial Delivery, I would wear the Manos clothes because mastery means more money. So yeah, cooking is probably one of the more tricky ones. Same with alchemy, where when you're actually making the product that you're making, then it's better to like wear the reduced time one. So for example, even for me, like alchemy, the -4 seconds is worth more. And then when I turn in, I do mastery. But alchemy is a little bit different. I think I actually just straight up use the alchemist clothes just because it's more time loss. But if alchemy is something you enjoy doing, I will say that getting to Guru Alchemy is a little bit different than cooking because you can mass cook things and it's literally half the time, even shorter. Whereas Alchemy does not have the mass processing for cooking. So I do have a little bit of a understanding of people who want to use straight up Alchemy XP. So silver embroidered versus the Manos Alchemy clothes. So either one. I think if you were trying to push for Guru, obviously more XP is better. But then once you're at Guru, even at Guru 1, that's your goal, is when you could start switching to the alchemy clothes. So if you're wondering, why Guru 1? Why do I stop there? The reasoning why is because it allows you to turn those light stones into those imperfect ones where you can go for the crystals that are interesting to you. That's about it. You don't even need it. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, I got Guru 1 just to get it, mostly. Saves you a little bit of silver. Is it a lot? No, you have to do a lot of processing for it to happen. Going down the list, we have processing. So processing is one of those things where you do basically AFK, right? You're not literally watching it. You basically set it to process, go AFK for 15 minutes, come back, reset. So processing, what it does is it allows you to process more things at once. So like when you process every, minute or two, you just get more of the higher tier every time. So yeah, I think mastery is just straight up overall better, and you would use the processing stone. I don't know how many of you guys have been playing for a while, but remember when they had all the different colors of processing stones? It's like the infinity stones of all the rainbow colors, and then they just combined it all into one, which is like the best thing they could have added for processing. Yeah, so overall, mastery is better. XP is literally irrelevant for processing once you are past like Master 1. Training. Admittedly, training is probably one of my least done life skills. Basically, you AFK your horse and then you level up your horse. That's all I do. But for people who do actual training, like you're doing wagon training, capturing horses, leveling up to sell for profit, it is actually very profitable if that's all you do. But basically, the importance of mastery is if you're capturing horses, the rate is higher. That part is less relevant. They changed it with a guaranteed capture with 1 sugar nowadays. But the important thing is mount XP when you're training. So obviously you want to shorten the amount of time to get your horse to level 30. Being able to basically, sell it for more. So like the higher your mastery and levels, you get more silver when you sell the horse to another player. And I think it's a little bit more selling it to the vendor, or gluing as we call it, and levels are both very important. Depending on what you're doing, if you're selling the horse for profit, then you want levels. If you're just trying to train it to 30 quickly, a little bit of both. So training is a little tricky one where I think both are very important. It's just, where are you at in it? Are you already Guru or are you not? Trading is a dead life skill. It's been irrelevant for about like 6 years. The idea of trading is you bring a heavy material from town A to town B, and the profit comes in by distance. So for example, if you took something from Grana and you took it to Valencia, you would get more silver. Whereas if you took something from like Heidel to Velia, it's less silver. So this life skill kind of fell off, and it does not compete with any other life skill, especially does not compete with grinding. And so it's kind of one of those things where they need a rework. I'm pretty sure all the BDO partners and creators have told Prolibus that, and then it just never happened. So if you're thinking about investing in a life skill, literally do anything else. If you're trying to go for profit, I would recommend cooking and gathering. But anyway, farming. I'm not really sure farming is something people really do for XP. The reason why you farm is to get more of those byproducts, and then you use those byproducts, like, you know, those leaf thingies, the pink leaf, and you either turn it into XP or you could turn it into those products for tier 9 horses, and then you could make your own tier 9 horse, which kind of goes into trading. Basically, all life skills connect to each other in some way or the other, and then you just kind of figure out what you enjoy doing. And then sailing and bartering are just ocean content that is a very heavy investment in terms of time and everything. So this is kind of one of those things you don't just do for fun. You kind of have to go in with a goal in mind. So I have a video on like how to get your carrack nowadays, how to sort your trade routes and barter routes in the ocean, how to go do Margoria. So you guys can watch those. I'll leave those in the description if I remember as well. TLDR, mastery for gathering. Life skill is also very good. So either one, you can't go wrong. Processing, you want just mastery. Fishing, you want mastery. Hunting, you want mastery. Cooking, you want both. Alchemy, you want both. Training, also both. Trading, dead. You shouldn't be doing it. But if you did, I'm pretty sure mastery is the way to go. Because after, like, what was it? Master 2 or something, you hit the peak profit. Like, more is better, but it's still irrelevant. So just don't do it. I'm just telling you this now. You could literally go fishing for more silver an hour than trading. Farming is less relevant because there's a limited number of, you know, harvests you can do every so often. So in my opinion, I'm pretty sure that doesn't matter which one you get. I don't even think there's like farming Manos clothes. There's like XP. Basically, you just use less energy for harvesting. So either one, kind of irrelevant. Sailing and bartering. For sailing, you want mastery because it makes your ship faster. And so like every 50 mastery is more stats. And bartering, you use less parley, which is the trade, like, currency for every exchange. So that's about it. Oh yeah, I forgot to add this to the list. Every 50 mastery equals 1 bracket. So you know how there's like AP and DP brackets? For every mastery bracket, it goes up by 50. So like 50, 100, all the way up to 2000. Basically, with all this and what I told you about each life skill, you would have to do the math on where are you at in the game and where do you think you can hit 2000 from. So with this combined, basically, if you have a little bit of an investment, as in like Tets and Tries combination, you can hit between like 900 to 1000 mastery without buffs, that is, without like any pen armors or accessories. So basically, you're already halfway there with a little bit of investment. If you are a new player, getting 2000 mastery just isn't even on your radar. Your goal is to probably get like Guru Master first before investing a lot of it into it. So where would we go? So let's just say we have 1000 mastery, right? Just from like the current gear that I have a little bit combination of Tries and Tets and then Tet armor. And then we also combine the tools if we're gathering. So what are some other ways of getting mastery, right? So I believe this is one thing that they give you from seasonals. It is a limited thing, but they're pretty common. So another 100 mastery would be from the Alk Stone. What you would do is hit this one, like you hit the buff for the Spirit Stone, and then also then swap it off with the Vels for like the 100 plus the 25. So yeah, it's kind of management, but if you're trying to min-max, it is what it is. And then personally, I actually used to Trent Steer a lot just because I do value life XP pretty highly. And then for everyone else, we have some other ones. You can actually stack these. You can add 100 to 200. They're called books, scrolls, whatever. So either way, there's another 200 from there. And then if you use the cron meal is another plus 25. Doesn't give any mastery, does it? I think there's an elixir that also... Let me see. I'm pretty sure there's an elixir that gives mastery. Yeah, all life skill plus 15. Do I think these are worth it? Dude, I don't. It doesn't really matter. Like, if I was gonna use something, it would not be this one unless it puts you up into a new bracket. So here's what I unironically use. I use Elixir of Flowing Time because it's 15% extra XP. And I think the XP in the long run will allow you to level up more and then give you that plus 5 to 10. So from leveling up over here, you get the permanent mastery for XP, which is worth a little bit more to me than just hitting the like small cap of mastery every so often. So I think that's it. I think that's it. There's probably more. All of these are just XP, but mastery is what we're talking about. If you're just trying to stack XP, then literally anything. So hopefully this helped. I know this is kind of a long-winded math video, but basically I just wanted to break it down. So let's see, what would the total be? Roughly about, let's just say 1300 mastery without any pens. And then at beginner one, assuming you have like investment into crystals and everything, you can get roughly around 1000 to 1300 at beginner one. And then you would have to calculate where your mastery is at. And then can you get 2000 from there? And then we talked about basically which life skills require XP more, which ones require mastery more. Some just straight up aren't even worth doing. Hopefully you guys can do a little bit of calculations with the math that I did and you figure out, can I hit 2000 mastery with my gear? Yeah, just combine all of those. Gathering mastery up to 2000 is a lot easier than gathering or like any other life skill to 2000 simply because the tool gives like 400 plus. Is pen worth it? No, not really, because you can get 2000 for gathering a lot easier. Will it be nice to have eventually? Yeah, it's nice to have as like a flex item. But really the reason why this brought like curiosity to me is because nowadays you actually do see more Manos stuff getting listed. And ever since they made accessories and armors being able to be cron-stoned, you can see the trend of how like 2 weeks ago, 30 billion for a tet, and now how it's just tanking down to like 20. It's going to go even lower. It's just because you can cron these now. So yeah, so I think if you are trying to buy tet or make it yourself, I think it's probably better to wait like a few weeks, maybe see when the price equalizes. And in my opinion, if you can get your tets for like 15 to 20 billion, that's fine. I wouldn't pay like max price for it. And then when it comes to like armors, well, keep in mind the ones I told you are important to get. So for example, you know, these 60 billion, are you able to reach like 1800 to 2000 mastery without pen? If so, if this is what it takes you to get 2000. Do I think it's wrong to buy pen? Not at all. I think that accessories for pen might be like last on your step. I would always go for pen armors before accessories. And it's just, what can you get for cheaper? And that's about it. So hopefully you learned something. I did some math for you guys and figure out where you're at and using all this information. And hopefully you guys learned something. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you come back. I make videos for beginners, returning players, and people who are just looking to get better at this game. And yeah, I have a lot of guides that I need to update because this game changes so often. So I enjoy updating everything. And with that said, yeah, we got some more stuff coming tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you later. Peace.